Royal magic. Princess Leonor weds Prince Christian. Fans can't believe their eyes. It began as just another quiet morning in Copenhagen, until the first chime of the royal bells shattered the calm. Within seconds, the city transformed. Streets once silent were now alive with cheers, flags, and tears of joy. Everyone knew something extraordinary was about to unfold, but no one expected the scene that would follow to leave even the most loyal royal watchers speechless. Because today, history isn't being remembered, it's being made. Princess Leonor of Spain, heir to one of Europe's oldest monarchies, has officially married Prince Christian of Denmark in a ceremony that fans are already calling the most magical royal event of the decade. But here's what's shocking everyone: not the grandeur, not the titles, but the authenticity. The raw, unfiltered emotion that turned this royal spectacle into something profoundly human. So how did this wedding capture the world's heart? What moments were so breathtaking that even palace insiders admit they've never seen anything like it before? Let's relive this once-in-a-lifetime day, from the first step down the aisle to the tears that stunned both Spain and Denmark. From sunrise, the energy around Amalienborg Palace was electric. Thousands filled the streets, waving Spanish and Danish flags side by side, an image no one could have imagined years ago. Broadcasters from across the globe lined the cobblestones, their voices trembling with anticipation. And then, at precisely 11 a.m., the moment arrived. The carriage doors opened, and out stepped Princess Leonor. The crowd gasped. Not because of the diamonds. Not because of the royal escort. But because of the woman herself. Confident. Serene. Glowing in an off-white silk gown embroidered with hand-stitched lilies, symbols of loyalty and rebirth. Her veil was simple, delicate, flowing like a whisper in the wind. But what caught everyone's attention wasn't the gown, it was the crown jewel she didn't wear. Leonor had chosen to forego her family's traditional tiara, opting instead for a small, vintage Spanish comb once worn by her grandmother, Queen Sofia. A decision both humble and powerful, signaling a future queen who leads with grace, not grandeur. As she made her way toward the cathedral, the choir began to sing, a hauntingly beautiful blend of Spanish and Danish hymns, merging two nations in perfect harmony. Inside, waiting at the altar, was Prince Christian, eyes glistening, unable to hide his emotion. For years, royal watchers had described him as reserved, stoic, the quiet strength of Denmark's future. But today, he was simply a man in love. When their eyes met, the world saw something genuine. Something rare. And yet, beneath this perfect picture, a quiet storm had been brewing. Behind the palace walls, some questioned whether this union would challenge centuries of royal tradition. Could two heirs, from two different monarchies, balance love and legacy? But Leonor and Christian answered that question without a single word, through their vows. As the cathedral fell into silence, Leonor's voice rang clear. I vow to walk beside you, through duty and through freedom, not as a queen above you, but as your equal, in heart and in purpose. The audience, from kings and queens to ordinary citizens, stood still. Even the cameras seemed to hesitate, capturing a moment that felt more human than royal. Christian took her hands gently and replied, his voice shaking. You have my heart, my loyalty, and my promise, that where you lead, I will walk with you. It was intimate, honest, and completely unscripted. Then came the most talked about moment of the entire ceremony. As the archbishop pronounced them husband and wife, instead of turning toward the cameras, they turned toward the crowd, and smiled. The balcony doors opened, and for the first time, the new royal couple stepped out, hand in hand. The crowd roared. Cameras flashed. But it wasn't the traditional wave that followed. Leonor looked over at Christian, laughed softly, and whispered, let's show them. And then, the kiss. A spontaneous, tender moment that sent shockwaves across the internet. It wasn't choreographed. It wasn't rehearsed. It was pure. And for that reason, it became one of the most replayed royal moments in modern history. Back in Madrid, millions watched live broadcasts projected on giant screens in Puerta del Sol. When the kiss happened, Spain erupted, strangers hugging, crying, clapping through tears. For many Spaniards, this was more than a wedding. It was the dawn of a new chapter, the moment they saw their future queen not as an untouchable symbol, but as a woman of the people. And yet, the magic didn't stop there. As night fell over Copenhagen, the royal banquet became something unexpected, emotional, unfiltered, real. Instead of a formal address, Leonor stood and gave a heartfelt speech that left even the most seasoned diplomats in silence. Tonight is not about titles. It's about love, love that unites families, countries, and people. We've been taught to rule. But before we can rule, we must learn to feel, and to serve. Her words were simple, but they resonated deeply. Across the ballroom, Christian's eyes welled with pride. Even Queen Letizia was seen wiping away tears, her daughter's transformation now complete. But it wasn't just the emotion that defined this wedding,